Hey guys, this is Zantanman back here with the second episode of C Programming for Beginners. In the last episode, we talked about the introduction of C, the history of C, when was C invented, who invented it, the evolution of C, the usage of C, and all. And then we learned about the four basic data types of C, that is a char data type, float data type, integer data type, and the void data type. In the last episode, we learned about how to take the input of a integer data type. Now we will learn about how to take the input of the char data type and the float data type. These two are also very important, as we all know, one of the basic data types. And then we will learn about the operators in C programming. We will go through all the operators. We will go through the definition, how that works. We will not show how they work because now it will be a bit too much for you to grasp when we go through the control statements or switch cases. Then we will learn about the usage of operators, how to use operators. We will go through all of them in the later episodes, but today we will go through the definition of basic operators, whether it's a plus, minus, multiplication operators, that's all. And then in the last we will design a calculators with the use of basic arithmetic operators. We will design a calculator, which is going to be thrilling, guys. Really, it's going to be a thrilling episode. So without much ado, let's start the first part, which is how to take a character input. Okay, so now we move to FC++. I've already saved this file. To take a character input, first of all, as we all learned in the last video, we need to include the header file. So how to include? Just type hash include, then this stdio.h. As I already mentioned, this header file is very much important, guys. Without this header file, the code won't run, I should say. Now, after the inclusion of header file, we will just write, just like the last episode we taught you, we have to write the main function. Main function could be anything. Now we will go with int main because it will make you understand better. Then we will return 0 because, as we already mentioned, if a function is a int type, it must return something. So we are returning 0. Then move straight to, as we know, firstly we have to declare the variable, okay, in which the data type, in which we shall take the input and store it. So now first we should learn about the character variable. To define a character variable, you only type char and var. It could be anything, char variable, but for our user we are just char var. Okay, so char is the keyword here. It describes that this variable is a character type variable. Okay, so char, if you write int var, then this variable will be an integer type variable. Okay, now how to take the input? So firstly we tell the user to enter the value, enter anything in char, enter any character, then /n quotation ends, and don't forget, bro, don't forget to give the semicolon. Without the semicolon, the code won't work. A semicolon is very important in C programming. Semicolon marks that this is a statement and the compiler should compile this statement. Without a semicolon, it won't work. Okay, so enter any character. A character can be anything: small a, big, small a, capital A, small b, capital B, anything. A hash sign can be a capital, at the rate can be a capital. Hash sign can be a character, at the rate can be a character, plus sign can be a character. Anything basically is a character. So now we will take the input. To take the input, which is the most, so here the difference comes in the integer. While taking the integer input, we used a specifier %d. Here we will use a specifier %c. Just like the integer input, everything will be same, the specifier will only change. So we used, in integer we use %d, this is like this, but here we will not write %d, we will write %c, and again quotation ends, comma, and to where to store the character, that is in var. That's it, var, again semicolon, don't forget the semicolon. Now we took the input in the %c inside var. Now we will print it out. So printf again, the value, no, I should say the character stored in var is equal to, again to print %c quotation ends, and just like the var without the ampersand, this will print in the place of %c. The value of var will be here. That's why the character stored in var is equal to %c, which means the var, the data in with the character inside the variable var will be printed here in this %c, and that's why we have mentioned var after the. Okay, so that's how you take a character input. So let's run this. Enter any character, suppose A. The character stored in var is equal to A. So our code is running and running perfectly. That's how. So let's close it. Now we come to the second part. Char input is done. So done. Now we come to the floating point. A floating point in this data type consists of anything. A floating point value can 1.5, 1.6, 1.79, 1.88, anything which can be expressed in fraction form, not fraction form. Suppose 5/3. When we simplify it, it will be a floating point value. Okay, so an integer cannot be used in this. That's why we have floating point. So integer will only show 1, 2, 3, 4, but can never show 1.2, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. That's why I use floating point. So how to take the floating point input? To floating point input, so we can change minor things and make this code a floating point, but for you guys I will write this from the beginning again. So as we all know, the stdio.h won't change. Int main, the main function shall stay there, it won't change. So now, just like the char, which is a keyword for taking character input, we will here use float, which is a keyword for taking floating point inputs. So float var. Okay, just like char, float var. Again we'll write printf, enter the value of variable. For the new line, /n, quotation ends, bracket ends, and again don't forget the semicolon. Semicolon is very important. After this we will take the input scanf. As we should all remember that for printing out stuff we need this function printf, and for scanning or taking the input we need this function scanf. So just like the floating point where we use the specifier %c, in floating point we will use the specifier %f. Floating point %f, isn't that easy? Yeah, %f, quotation ends, and simply again ampersand, which is this sign, and where shall we store the value? Inside var. So that's how. Now we shall print it out. Printf, the value inside var is equal to, again to print it out, since it's a floating point value, %f, quotation ends, and var, again semicolon. That's it, simple. Now we shall run this program. Okay, let's run it. I was just sharing the video anyways. So it's compiled and it's running now. So it's telling us, sorry, so enter the value of variable. Now we shall give any integer. So I will 11.789. okay, so as you can see the value inside var is equal to 11.789. there are several zeros because the number could be huge. It could be 11.78996, 11.78992. we will learn how to format these zeros as well, to make it for only 2 places, to state for only 3 places, for 4 places. We will learn all of this stuff in the later points, on the later episodes in this series, because if we learn so much in this and this fast, it's going to be very hard for you to grasp. Okay, that's all. So now we shall shift to the main focus, which is the operators in C programming. So the first question, what are operators? Basic definition is operators are an important aspects of a programming language. Operators allows us to perform operations on an operand, okay, or on an operand, or on 2 operands also. The operations which are occurring an operand which gives us the value. Suppose a is an operand and we use the increment operator, then the value of a shall change and it will become something after the increment operator is used on it. So the incrementation is the operation and increment is the operator. So there are basic operators as well, which we all know because we all studied up to class 10th at least. Then only you should start learning C. At least I feel so. So the basic operators we shall talk about. The 5 types of operators are there. Firstly, again the definition I'm reading it once again. That is, the operators allows us to perform operations on an operand. Okay. So what are the basic operators? Firstly, we have the arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are quite simple. The first is plus, then minus, multiplication, division, then the modulo operator. This is new for you. This might be new for you or not that so, because this operator is very helpful in C programming or in any programming language. Then comes the increment operators. There are 2 increment operators. Yes, this plus I. This is an increment operator. This plus actually is the operator, and in I we shall use this operator. That's why the increment I write it in this way. I plus. This is also incrementation. This is pre-incrementation. This is post-incrementation. Similarly, just like the increment, this reverse is decrement. Minus I and I minus. So these are the basic arithmetic operators, the set of arithmetic operators. The first 4 are quite self-explanatory. Plus is to add 2 numbers, minus to subtract 1 number from another number, multiply to multiply 2 numbers, divide to divide 1 number by another number. Modulo, this operator we will check after some time. So the modulo operator generally gives the remainder after division of 2 numbers. So suppose a is a number 5 and another number b is 1. So if we do 5 modulo 1, what shall it give? It shall give it 0, because 5 is exactly divisible by 1 and there is no remainder. Or the one number is 10 and another number is 5. So again, if you use them 10 mod 5, it should give us 0 because there is no remainder of the division 10 by 5. Okay. So this is another very important operator. We shall all learn about this operator, the usefulness of the operators in the next videos. Then comes the pre-increment operator. So the increment operator increments the value of the operand by 1. So the value of operand, suppose a is equal to 5. If you increment the value, it will become 6. Similarly, the decrement operator, which is the reverse of that, it decreases the value of the operand by 1. Suppose a is equal to 5, again we decrement, you use the decrement operator and it becomes 4. There are 2 types of increment operators as well, that is pre-increment and post-increment. Just remember these 2 guys, that the differences are there, that there are 2 types of operators, that is the pre-increment and the post-increment, because we will learn about all these things in the next videos. Okay, but remember this thing, the pre-increment, then the post-increment, similarly pre-decrement and the post-decrement. Then comes the relational operators. So relational operators are just like in mathematics, we all about equal to. This is seems new for you guys, but equal to is used to check whether the 2 values are same. Suppose you have a value of a and you have a value of b. Suppose you want to check whether the value of a and b are same, then we need to use the equal to operator. In the C programming, let me give an example. We shall not write the code here because we will learn about those later, but suppose here a is equal to 5, b is equal to 6. So in the suppose the problem tells us if a and b are equal, then print the value they are equal, and then print the statement they are equal. If they are not equal, then print they are not equal. So how to check? So in this condition, we will use the relational operator and this operator, which is the equal to operator. It will check. So that is, if a equal to b, like this. No, yeah, we are going too much. That is the if statement, else statement. That's why I didn't want to write the code now, because we will learn about all those later on. But just remember, when we are comparing the 2 values, we need this double equal to operator. Then similarly, the double equal to the not equal to. This operator is the not equal to operator. Not equal to operator, just like the double equal to, it whether checks the both the integers are not equal to each other. So again, just like the code, if and we have to write a program, if they are not equal to each other, print they are not equal to. Then we will use just like that, we will use if a not equal to b, and we'll write anything code here. Then the basic operators, the greater than, the less than, the greater than equal to, and the less than equal to. These all operators are quite simple and basic, and you might know them pretty easily. Then come the logical operators. Yes, now these operators needs understanding, and for that we will write a program, because these are quite new for you and will be hard for you to guess. Okay, so AND operator is basically, if suppose there you have two statements, the problem given to you is that if statement 1 is true and statement 2 is true, then statement 3 is true. For that, this kind of problem, you need the AND operator. Okay, double ampersand sign, the AND operator you need. Similarly, a problem is there that if statement 1 is true or statement 1 is true, statement 2 is true, then statement 3 is true. For the OR function, you need this operator, the OR operator, and this is the NOT operator, as you can already guess, because equal to before that NOT. This is the NOT operator. Then the basic assignment operators. This is equal to, plus equal to, minus equal to, multiply equal to. So these are basic assignment operators. We don't use this. Equal to is always, you know, the what is equal to. Suppose a is equal to b, it is known as assignment operator because the value of b is assigned into the value of a. Suppose a is equal to b, then the value of b is assigned into the value of a. And we will learn about all these things later on, because this we don't use this much, but equal to is always used, but these are not much used. Then we will go write a program of the logical operators now, because it needs some understanding. And then rarely used are the bitwise operators. So this is the bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise NOT, bitwise XOR, right shift, left shift. Basically these operators are used to perform operations on bits. So these are not much used in C programming, I feel so, because in 2 years of my C programming I haven't done much coding with the help of bitwise operators. But yeah, for the sake of you need to learn this, that how many bitwise operators are there, what are the bitwise operators. There are bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise NOT, bitwise XOR, bitwise the right shift and the left shift. So but before that we need to learn how to use the logical operators in this video, because we can perform we will perform another code for other operators later on, but the logical operators are quite important. That's why we will cover this in video, and then we will move on to the final segment of the video, which is the calculator made using C. And in the calculators, as we all know, the four basic arithmetic operators are needed, which is plus, minus, multiplication and division. Four basic arithmetic operators are needed in a calculator. So we will cover that, but first of all we need to cover these logical operators. So AND and OR basically we will cover. So this is quite an easy program to write. Yeah, I will not bore you guys. I will not make the code difficult, because it will be hard for you to grasp. Return 0. So we will take three variables, int a, b, c. Or let me take int a is equal to 5, b is equal to 6, and c. So we are assigning the value of 6 in b. So here is the first operator is used, which is assignment operator, as you can see. Assigning the value of 5 in a and the value of 6 in b. Just like taking int a is equal to 5 when we write in copy. So we are taking the value of a as 5. Similarly in programming we are assigning the value of 5 in a. That's why it's called the assignment operator. So now, yeah, we shall write one thing. is gonna be quite hard for you to guess. But now we were writing the switch case statement. Just go through the code. Don't think about it much because we won't understand it properly. So we wrote a if statement. We will go through all these if statements, switch cases, conditional statement in the later videos. But for this video only, at least just go through the code. So our condition is if a equal to if a equal to 5 and b equal to 6, so here as you can see we use the double equal to operator as well to check whether the value of a is 5 and b is 6. We know that already we have taken the value of a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 6, that's why it's gonna be true. Okay, so if, as you can see, if is a conditional statement, then then we won't write, then c is equal to a plus b, printf percentage c. So what is it doing? So firstly write the if statement. We will learn this later, but for the basic understanding, if statement allows us to check whether it is true, whether it is right, whether it is correct. Okay, so similarly there is else statement also. We'll also learn about it. So here it is checking if a is equal to 5. Here as you know, the double equal to checks whether a is the value of a and the value of 5 is same. So as we know that 5 is already assigned into a, obviously it's gonna be true. And here we use the and operator, which is the and operator, actually double ampersand sign, the and operator. So here it is checking if a equal to 5 ampersand where and b is equal to 6, then c, then inside we use second brackets, then inside if statement, if this condition is true, then c is equal to a plus b and print percent d c. Just like integer printing, we just print this integer c. So run this code. 11, as you can see 11. So we are not taking any input from the user. We are already giving the values of a is 5 and b is equal to 6. That's why it's telling us that the final answer is 11, and it should be 11 because c is equal to a plus b, a is 5, b is equal to 6, and so c is 11 and it's printing the value as 11. So in this way the AND operator is used. Similarly the OR operators will be used in some different way. Here through a basic example we just showed how the AND operator is used, how the if statement is used. We will learn about this later, but still for this video at least you need to go through these 5 lines. Understand that the AND operators is used when we need 2 statements, and whether if these 2 statements are true, then print this. Okay, that's all. Similarly we will use the OR operators later on in a program. Now coming back, so what did we cover? We covered the basic arithmetic operators: plus, minus, multiply, divide, modulo. As you can see, modulo, a very important operator, gives us the remainder of division of a and b. Okay, so a modulo b gives us the remainder of the division of a by b. This is basically the answer given by modulo. The modulo operators is used heavily to check whether a number is in even or odd. Okay, we will do that program. Increment operators, decrement operators. Then we came to relational operators. We use the relational operators in one program. Then after that, not equal to operator, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, and less than equal to. Sorry, the and symbol might confuse you, that's why comma. Equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to. Then we move to the logical operators, which is the double ampersand sign, and, or, and not. Assignment operators: equal to, plus equal to, minus equal to, multiply equal to. And the least used operators, I should say, the bitwise operators, bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise NOT, bitwise XOR, right shift, left shift. So we covered all the basic operators. We will use all these operators later on in the next episodes, but now we shall move to the next part and the last part of the video to make it concise, to design a calculator in C program. So I will include the source code in the definition with my GitHub link. But for that, before that, we should learn how to design a basic calculator. So one more thing, guys, which I didn't use in the first day, is comment. Comments is a thing which we will write in code for easy understanding of the code, but it won't compile. The compiler won't compile it. So for writing a single line comment, you will type double forward slashes, then anything. So here we are designing a calculator. So someone who sees our codes has to get that. So what is the code doing? So we will write here calculator made using C. So in this line, yeah, when opening the code you will see this line, but the compiler won't compile this, okay, because the forward slash make this as a comment. Then this is single, there is a multi-line comment also. This is also done using forward slash. Then this, in this multi-line command you can write anything. This is a code written in C and will be compiled later on. So as you can see, this forward slash and then stars, you can write multiple lines of comments through this, and then to stop the commenting process, again the start and then forward slash. Okay, so this is encloses the comments. Okay, and similarly for a single line comment you just need two forward slashes. That's it. Now we will start making the calculator. For that we will include first, as we know, include stdio.h. we will also include another header file known as conio.h, where I will tell you guys what's the use of this header file later. Okay, so now we have to write the main function. So this time I'm going to use void main. I'm using void main just to show you guys that when writing the main function, the void main increment doesn't really makes any difference. Gives the result, the code will be all the same, just we are writing a void main, and when writing void main we don't need to return anything because as it's the void function. Then, so what are the variables we need for the calculator? So this is a simple and basic calculator. So the basic variables we'll need is first integer, second integer, variables to store the result, and another variable to check to take the input to perform which operation. So for that we will write int. As we know, all these variables is going to be in integer type. So int num1, we're taking one variable. For taking multiple variables, just write int, then give comma num2, which is the second variable, then result, third variable, and another integer n. I will show you why we are using n here, fourth variable. And now we need char, two character variables. I will tell you guys why we are using the character variables, but now char option and char y. Okay, so these are the basic variables we need: two character variables and four integer variables. Okay guys, now we're gonna write one stuff which is do. Yeah, we are using loops here. We are using a do while loop here actually. I should say, let me skip this part, the do while loop part, because you won't gonna understand the functionality of a do while loop. So for that, we first have to make a menu which will tell us press 1 to add these two numbers, press 2 to divide the two press 2 to divide the numbers, press 3 to multiply the two numbers. So for the menu we will just printf menu /n. Again, another thing I will do is just give /t, then printf print one, sorry, enter 1 for addition of two numbers. Again /n, as we all know, and again semicolon, which is very important. Okay, without the semicolon the code won't run. Then printf, it will basically show an error. If you don't give the semicolon, the compiler will basically show you an error. Enter 2 for subtraction. Enter 3 for multiplication of two numbers, and then lastly printf. So we use the f printed. Enter 4 for division of two numbers. The menu is right. Okay, so this is the menu. We are telling the user to enter 1 for addition of two numbers, enter 2 for subtraction of two numbers, enter 3 for multiplication of two numbers, enter 4 for division of two numbers. Okay, then we will write printf enter your choice. Okay, quite simple, quite easy to do. After that, so interval choice, we will set this 1 2 3 for anything with the user. We will store this in a value which is n, scanf %d ampersand n. So anything which the user clicks on will be stored in %n. Then we will take the input of the two numbers. Printf enter the first number, printf enter the second number, now up to this, sorry, we didn't scan. So again scanf, as we declare %d as it is an integer. Then we will take the value of the first number, which is num1, so ampersand num1. So num1 will be the value of first number will be stored in num1. Then scanf similarly %d ampersand num2, value will be stored in num2. Okay, now so what are the basic things we did? Firstly, we did the main function, then we declared 4 integer variables and 2 character variables. Actually, I'm thinking to ditch the character variables because what I was trying to do is quite difficult for you guys to grasp. So we will just design a basic calculator. That's why we don't need the character variables. Okay, now we are gonna use one thing which is known as switch cases. For that we are going to write first switch switch, and we will switch using this value of n. switch first bracket n, second bracket starts. Okay, now case 1, then don't give a semicolon, give a colon. Case 1. So what this switch case does is if your choice is 1, suppose firstly write the code, then we will get the proper idea. If your code is 1, which is n is 1, then using this switch case and where n is 1, the case 1 will be selected. Okay, similarly we will write 4 cases. So if you type 2 or enter 2, then using this switch case, the switch here will be 2 and case 2 will be selected, case 1 won't be selected. So since we are doing only one operation, so suppose we firstly choose 1, then enter num1 2. So if you don't use switch cases, the code will do all the operations. Well, firstly it will add the 2 integers, then subtract the 1 integer from the second integer, then multiply the 2 integers, then divide the 2 integers. That's why to use switch cases, to only use one operation, we're using the switch cases here. Okay, quite simple. So case 1, printf. So as we already written, for 1 for addition of 2 numbers, the result of addition is %d. So for so result is equal to, as we already declared a variable known as result, so result is equal to num1 plus num2. Okay, so case 1 is for addition of 2 integers. So here we are storing the value of num1 plus num2 in the integer result. For that we use the assignment operator or the equal to, which is commonly known to you as equal to, or the assignment operator. So num1 and num2, this summation will be stored in the integer result. The print of the result of addition is %d is equals to %d, and then so where the value is stored in result, so we will write result. Again semicolon, very important, semicolon. But as we all know, since when we type or enter 1, we'll only use this switch case or case 1, so we need to break out of this structure, because after 1 it should not process and do all the other operations, which is 2 for subtraction. That's why we will type this keyword, which is break and then colon. Okay, now similarly, just like the first case, we will just replicate the case, and just the result will be different, and this printf structure will be different. Other than that, everything is going to be same. Again case, give a space, so it's easy for case 2 colon. This time, so we have written press 2 for subtraction of 2 numbers, so result is equal to num1 minus num2. Keep in mind that num1 should be greater than the num2. That's why so this is a random thing. Yeah, we can make it accurate if num1 is greater than number 2. We can modify this calculator even more. But since this is the second episode of the C programming tutorial only, that's why we will not dive much into it. Okay guys, so case num1 is equal to num1 minus num2, then printf the result of subtraction is equal to %d, again result, and again break. So if we type 2 or the user types 2, then the case 1 won't work, because in switch its value is 2, so it will directly go to case 2 and case 1 won't work. So it will only show us the subtraction result. Then similarly we will write case 3 colon result is equal to num1 into num2. Quite simple to write. So here, as you can see, we are using the basic operators, the plus operator, the minus operator, the multiplication operator, printf, similar things. The result is the result of multiplication multiplication equals to %d result, and again semicolon and break. And then now the last statement, case 4, which is result equals to, similarly just like we are just storing the value of the operation in result here. So num1 into num2 will be stored in result, num1 minus num2 will be stored in result here, and num1 plus num2 will be stored in result here. Okay, the result is equal to num1 by num2 printf the result of division is equal to %d, again specify just like all of this, result semicolon and break. So we already write this bracket, so we have to in the switch case ends, semicolon is there, break, switch case ends, that's all. So in this way we have designed the basic structure of calculator. So we will go through the code once again. We will format out conio.h because we won't need it. Okay, basic structure of a calculator is ready. Include stdio.h, the standard header file. We have taken 4 integers, int num1, num2, result n. We design menu. Okay, let me do the this /t just moves this line, which is the printf line, 4 spaces in the right, so it will be in quite it will not in the absolute left. It will look good. That's the main reason we are doing it. Then enter your choice, though we have made the menu here. Okay, this code is quite simple for you guys, and we have the menu here. So enter your choice. So the user will enter this choice whether he wants to add 2 numbers, subtract 2 numbers, multiplication of 2 numbers, division of 2 numbers. Okay, then after that, the first number, enter the first number, num1. The value of first number will be stored in num1, then the second number will be stored in num2. Then we come to switch cases. So if we press 1, the addition will show. If we press 2, the subtraction will show. The result of subtraction. If we press 3, result of multiplication will show. And if we press 4, the result of division will show. That's all. Switch case ends and void menus. So now the only thing we need to do is just run the program. Run it. Acha, so we are getting a error. Sorry for that. Void main roulette enter. Getting this error. Okay, it made me write int main, no problem. So now it will work. So here we go. So as we will check our menu here. So as we wrote here, as you can see, menu is there, and the /t makes 4 places gap and moves the sentence to 4 places toward the right. Similarly, all the are there. Now enter your choice. We'll enter 1 and 1 for addition of 2 numbers. Okay, so enter the first number, that is 5. Enter the second number, 6. As you can see, the result of addition is equal to 11. Done deal. So we will once again close this and run this again. Check whether it is working perfectly or not. Enter your choice. This time I want to multiply 3 numbers, so 3. Enter the first number, 11. Enter the second number is 5, so the value should be 55, and the value is damn 55. So here, as you can clearly see, the value is 55 and the code is working flawlessly. So one more time. So the thing which I was going to do, but it was going to be difficult for you to understand, was since as a calculator we need to cross this program and once again compile it. So I was going to do a do while loop, and so the do while loop will make this work unlimited times. So we'll get, if after this program we will take again another input, so that it will run again. We don't need to recompile this and rerun this. Yeah, we will check this on the next videos, the modifications. Okay, so last we checked subtraction. So enter your choice 2, enter the first number, which is let me give the first number the biggest number, so 20. The second number is 9, so the value should be 11, and as you can see the subtraction is 11. So in this way a calculator is designed. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope it helped, and hope you designed your calculator along with me as well, and hope it helped you to grasp the concepts of basic operators. Today we went through character input, then float input, then we learned about the basic operators, the arithmetic operators, plus, minus, multiplication, division, then increment operator, decrement operators, then we relational operators, double, equal to, not equal to. We learned about how to use the logical operator, which is and. Here we have the code here. Yeah, how to use the logical operators, and then we learned how to use the logical operator. We will learn how to use the logical operator, or then we will learn how to assignment operators. One of the most common assignment, equals to. We used it everywhere, equal to is needed. And we learned about bitwise operators, but bitwise operators I will try to show it in the later videos, but it's not that important, I feel. Yeah, you need to have the definition and what it does, but you shouldn't know then. But you shouldn't know, not shouldn't know, but it's not that important, I feel. Then we made a calculator, simple calculator using C, which can add 2 numbers, subtract 2 numbers, multiply 2 numbers, and divide 2 numbers. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you are at the end of the video, please don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe. Please subscribe. It will be give me a huge boost in confidence. Please subscribe video on the video, guys. That's going to help a lot. That's all. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep watching the videos, keep sharing them. Zantanman, peace off.